Hello and welcome or welcome back to a Chip Off the Old Block Toys. This is Jeff, and today we're going to build version 1 of a Creator 3-in-1. Specifically, this is set number 31167. It's called the Haunted Mansion, and it was just released on August the 1st. It has 736 pieces, 5 minifigures, and it retails for $89.99. Now, if you haven't watched this channel before, whenever I buy a Creator 3-in-1, I get 3 copies, and we do 4 videos. We'll do a video on version 1, another video on version 2, another video on version 3, and then we'll do a review of all 3 of them side by side, and that's the 4th video. And today we start with the actual Haunted Mansion itself. We're going to do a time lapse on the build, and then we'll come back and do a review. And also, as part of the review, I have the Haunted House from 2012, which is set number 10228. It has 2,037 pieces and 6 minifigures, and we'll compare them side by side during the review. Alright, just remember guys to drop a like and subscribe if you feel like I've earned your subscription, and also remember that these videos are Enzo approved. this concludes the build of set number 31167, the Haunted Mansion version number 1. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and jump in the review. And the first thing I'm going to tell you is the dimensions. This set from one corner to the other corner is 9.5 inches. From the front to back it's 6 inches, and from the top of the bat to the table is 10 inches. Now, if you're on the metric system, that's simple. It's 24 centimeters this way. Front to back, it is 15.5 centimeters, and from the top of the bat to the table is 25.5 centimeters. I looked for information on the minifigures. There isn't any on this set yet. I checked Brickset, and I checked Brick Economy, and I checked Bricklink. So, cannot locate any information at this time, so we'll skip over that, and let's get into the value. I struggled with the value. This set retails for $89.99. It has 736 pieces and 5 minifigures. That is 12.2 cents per piece, which initially, on today's prices, that's not a bad price per piece count. However, because I do have the Haunted House that came out in 2012, the Monster Fighters Mansion that's similar to this, I was let down at first, and I thought, oh, it's just a money grab, because you know they do that with Star Wars with the yearly X-Wing and the yearly TIE Fighter. You know what I'm talking about, the many different Millennium Falcons there are. So at first I was really disappointed, and I was ready to give it a 5. But then I started thinking about it, and I was like, wait a minute. There is a purpose from them releasing it. This is not the same as Star Wars. First of all, Star Wars, they almost literally come out with a yearly X-Wing. Not quite, but almost. And by the way, there's 3 Ultimate Collector Series X-Wings, by the way. So they totally overplay it. This was released in 2012, so it's been out of production for over 10 years. And on the secondhand market, if you're going to get the original one, it's going to cost you an arm and a leg. So I started thinking about it. I'm like, you know, this one actually makes sense for them to re-release it 10 years later. It just does. So I'm thinking about it, and I'm like, okay, I can see the point. And also because of the way economic times are, they made a more budget-friendly version of it. So then I was like, well, wait a minute. That's not really a 5. But I don't want to give it a 10 either, so I'll split the difference. I'll give it a 7. When it comes to creativity, there's a lot here. There's the gate with a lock and a little bit of plant growth. You've got, on the front here, you've got the cemetery with 3 tombstones, one's leaning over. You've got a ghost, you've got a front porch, you've got a door, you got the vine up here. You have this living monster tree, which reminds me of the Scooby-Doo set. And then when you flip it around, you have this really cool thing. And that is this ghost right here. This ghost, you can play with it and it'll go back into the house and show a gem in the window, or you can flip it around and there's a ghost in the window. I thought that was pretty cool. As well as you got 2 candlesticks, you've got an old pipe organ here, you've got a bench with a couple hats on it, you got the front door, you've got a picture of this character right here, and you also have a picture of the Haunted Mansion on a hill. And then you have this grandfather clock. The grandfather clock I do like a lot because you can play with this and the little pendulum thing, it swings. And the other thing too about this set is if you do this right here, it does close up. However, the roof does not cover the whole entire thing even when it's closed. I don't like that, but I will give creativity a 7. Playability is a whole nother story. You do have enough here. You got 5 characters. You've got, well, you know, you got the werewolf guy who I think is pretty cool. And so playability, I'll give it a 9. For ease of build, well, that's pretty easy to give it a 9 because there's 231 steps, 1 booklet to put it together, so it's really not all that bad at all. It's actually pretty good. So I'll give that a 9. Part out value, I'll give it an 8. There's plenty here. You know, you've got tiles, you've got plates, you've got gates, you've got windows, doors, slopes, and in fact, you got this double convex corner right here. And I collected these in black for the Grand Lion Hotel. And back when I was collecting, they're almost $2 a piece. Now, with them having 8 in the set, it's probably going to drop some, but they're still an expensive piece. There's a lot here to be able to part out. So I will give part out an 8. If you average all those scores, that's an 8.0 out of 10 overall for the set. Now, I promised you I'd bring the other set forward, so let's go ahead and let's do that. So behind door number 2, we have the OG, which is set number 10228. It was released in 2012. It has 2,037 pieces and 6 minifigures. Now let's go over the similarities and then we'll go over the differences. They both have a front gate. They both have this go right here, which are very similar. They both have a monster, which look kind of like Frankenstein. We got this guy here and then the other one over here. They both have a ghost. They both use the same sand green color for the building. They both use these slopes right here over the windows in many different places. And they both have the same type of roof, same color. So, I mean, they are like extremely similar on a lot of regards. Of course, the obvious difference is the size, but they do have a front porch. Both of them have that. So let's go over the differences. This one over here has a cemetery, which I like. And they both fold too, by the way. This one kind of opens up over here like this. But the difference is this has a side door here. This has a lot more windows. Of course, it's bigger, so that's to be expected. And when you open the inside, there is so much to this set. And this one also has the prominent chimney, which this one does not have any chimney whatsoever. They both have the boarded up windows though. Okay, so when you open this up, and it opens up all the way, what you have is down here you have a kitchen, complete with a kitchen table and an old cast iron stove. There's supposed to be a spider web thing in the back there, but mine's missing for some reason. I just cannot find it, so apologize for that. It was in the bag at one point, but it's not anymore. Up here we've got some pictures on the wall. We've got a bed that doesn't have a mattress. We have a jar, and we have an armoire of sorts. And then up here we've got a lot going on in the attic. We've got some bottles up here. We've got, I don't know why they're keeping a skull up there and a bone, but we also have this record player. And the record player, I think, is very ingenious. They use the Explorer hat on its side as the speaker, and it's very nostalgic to me because my grandmother had one very much like that. And it was old back then. Right now it'd be even more old. It'd be an antique. And then we have a crate here, complete with a record and a box in it. And then also, we have this side. And on this side, it's not to be outdone by the other side. It's got a lot to it. And so what we have here, it's got a living room. Living room's kind of plain, but it does have a working staircase, and it does have this fireplace. This fireplace does have a ship in the bottle right here over the fireplace mantle. Now, if you don't know Lego history, I'll tell you that this came out about the same time, the ship in the bottle, as this set did. So that's why they included it. It's kind of like a little Easter egg. Here we have a plastic spider. I assure you it's plastic, because if it wasn't, everything on this table would be flattened. And if it ever moves, I will flatten the whole entire table. And then here we've got a place to write letters. We've got a bottle here. And we also have up here in the attic something really cool. So it has this little lever on the side. It is kind of hard to get to when it's open. Let me see if I can. All right, let's close it up a little bit then. All right, so this falls, and it comes out like this. It can be straightened out to a complete ladder, and then you've got a way into the attic. And this does remind me of National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation, when Chevy Chase was sitting on the ladder when he got locked in the attic, and when they came home they pulled it down to put the presents and he fell through. So anyway, we have a box up here, we've got a treasure chest, another jar, and then we've got a knight's helmet inside of a barrel here for some reason. So there's a lot to this set, and like I said, I really like this set, and I really feel it's a great set to have. However, I know with it being out of production for 10 years, buying it would be very cost prohibitive at this point. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please hit the like button or subscribe. If you're over on Rumble, give it a rumble or follow the channel. They don't do subscriptions there, they do following. So if you would, do that. But regardless of which platform, please leave me a comment. Let me know if you have this set. Let me know if you're planning on buying the set. Let me know if you've bought the set, if you built it, and what you think of it. What do you think of my review? And also turn on all notifications, that way you know when I put out a video. Now, this next part of the video is my least favorite, and that's when I got to tell you everything. It's always the same, so I'm going to change it up this time and give you a short version. If you want to help the channel, donations on PayPal. you got Bricklink, and then you have Etsy where you can buy Akro-Mils dividers. Links for all three are in the description below. Also, if you want to help the channel, please be my marketing department by sharing a link to this video on other social media platforms. In addition, if you want to help the channel, watch another video right after this one. And in fact, if you missed the ending so bad, please watch another video all the way to the end and you'll get the full ending and not the abbreviated version. All right, guys, be good to each other, stay safe out there, and I'll catch you on the next one.